Ladies and gentlemen, this is Rigatoni number 24.
Hey guys, happy Pride. Send this one over to your straight friends real quick. Hey straighty, send the person that sent you this $3,000 or else you're homophobic. Open up your fucking wallet.
Artie, what's the cow say? Good boy. What's the cow say? Artie, what's the cow say? Good boy.
Hey Nathan,
Yeah?
tell me a joke.
So I learned recently that the Grim Reaper is pansexual. Turns out death comes for us all.
Just a quiet, peaceful night until I heard Sharon Needles turn on the robot vacuum.
Alright, I'm gonna let you pick any one of those packs, okay? So, which one do you want to do? Oh god. And you picked it in June too, you crazy. Anyway, this says, excuse me, straight man, but blank isn't for you, straight man. Which one are you thinking? That one? Oh. A Subaru.
Guys. Stop. I'm literally just trying to poop in peace.
God told me a few days ago to stop shopping at Target.
God, is that you? Yes, my son, it is I. Oh my heavens, are you here to bestow great wisdom on me or tell me the meaning of life? Nah, bruh, I'm here to tell you not to shop at Target. Oh, what the fuck?
I feel like it's time to raise the threshold for grand theft, because $1,000 today is like not even rent, and $1,000 in 1975 was like a solid bank heist. Like you could go on the lam with $1,000 back in the day, and now you couldn't even like hire a lawyer. So I should be able to steal $10,000 from Target before.
Yo, what are you doing, bro?
I'm just skipping stones.
Yo, you skipped that shit. Let me try one.
Dude, you skipped that shit. Let me try.
No, fuck you, bro. I could skip it way better.
You think you can skip shit like you're the fucking skip king?
Bitch, you can't skip shit on
I have to say, this has been a really wonderful interview. You're a very capable candidate.
Thank you very much. I really care about the work your firm does. That's much appreciated. Last up is, of course, the results of the background check we ran on you. Yeah?
Yeah, it says here that you commented, "I am just a hole," on a video of a men's rugby team practicing. Would you let me know what you meant by that?
I consider myself to be a team player, to a fault.
Okay guys, I want you to prepare yourself for the best tippy tappies of all time. This is Clara, and her tippy tappies are unmatched. Yeah, I know. You're wacky. Okay, good. No, you're a drummer. Good. Okay, good. Jeez Louise. Silly.
Hi man, what's the Irish for no? I mean, you could say Neil, but that technically means it isn't. Ah, right, yeah. No, I just want the word for no. Right, yeah. It's just there is no word in Irish for no. So Irish people can't say no. I mean, we can shake our heads. I mean, that's generally perceived as meaning no. No wonder we got invaded so many times. We couldn't say no to anyone. Vikings landing on our shore and we're just standing there shaking our heads going, it isn't. Man, come on, it's not that big of a deal. It's only one word that we can say. I suppose. At least people can say yes in Irish. We can say yes in Irish, can't we? It isn't.
A cheat lemon pie from 79. So this pie says it can be finished in 2 seconds, something I think is quite impressive, yet other lovers find it deeply unsatisfying. You can't win them all. Start with a can of sweetened condensed milk. Ooh. Then a whole can of thawed lemonade concentrate. You find these in the freezer section because they're frozen. Pour it in. Mix. The acid is thickening. Fold in a tub of Cool Whip. Get it! Woo. Finally, into 2 pre-made graham cracker crusts. Oh, yes. To the freezer. Don't worry, I'm not going to speak about my cookbook. Nope, not me. Good morning. By the way, this cost me $5. In this economy, $2.50 a pie ain't bad. Oh, look it. Okay. This is out of the park. It's a frozen pie, but it's silky smooth. Oh.
Trees aren't a real thing. Don't believe the hype. It's just another evolutionary trick. The form that we think of as a tree, tall and long-lived and woody, has evolved a bunch of different times in distantly related groups of plants in response to similar environmental challenges. It's yet another textbook example of convergent evolution. So, tree doesn't even have an accepted definition. And lots of things we actually call trees are actually more closely related to other types of plants than to other so-called trees. Like palm trees, they're actually more closely related to grasses than to trees. Horse chestnut trees, more closely related to broccoli than to sweet chestnut trees. So it turns out being a tree doesn't make you part of a single evolutionary group. It's just part of a convergent evolutionary strategy. Sorry, tree huggers.
Hey man, what's up? Oh, hey man, you mind if I grab a beer? Nah, I'm all out. I'm sorry. Oh, hell man, you got Bud Light. Oh, you can have all that. I was gonna throw it away. Don't tell me you're doing that boycott. It's not like they changed the taste or anything. I'm afraid to drink it now. I feel like it might turn me gay. That's ridiculous, Michael. Why did you just talk like that? I don't know. I just feel so fabulous. Stop drinking it now. I think it's too late. The damage is already done. I gotta get the fuck out of here. We are Legion. We are many. What the hell are you?
How do your coworkers respond to having an openly gay person in their midst?
I can't tell a difference. I've never had any problem with that in San Francisco. I'm totally convinced that straight people are well prepared to accept gay people, and to the ones it doesn't become acceptable to, it doesn't bother me anymore because I just feel sorry for them. I feel like there's a limitation there that affects them in some way. I'm a North Carolina boy. I grew up thinking that there were 3 queers in town and they hung out at one end of this crummy little bar. That's one of the most difficult things about being gay, is that you believe all the myths that straight people believe about being gay, even when you're going through it yourself. And until you meet someone, straight or gay, who can just sort of say you're okay, I'm not insane, This is the way I feel, and I'm going to make it into something beautiful.
we're not friends anymore. Because after I said, see you later, alligator, and then you didn't say anything, I didn't get my afterwild crocodile, I told you, we're not friends anymore. You're toxic and you need to grow up. And then after I posted that video, all of my beautiful over 400,000 followers let me know that this isn't just a cultural thing that happens in Atlanta. It's all over the world. And there's tons of phrases you could have said. You could have said, gotta go buffalo, see you soon raccoon, be sweet parakeet, take care polar bear, in a shake rattlesnake, toodaloo kangaroo, out the door dinosaur, on the bus octopus, in an hour sunflower, anytime porcupine, plant you now, dig you later, bye-bye butterfly, nice wagon, you fire-breathing dragon, love and peace, chicken grease, peace out, Girl Scout, hang loose, Canada Goose. You ain't say none of that. All you gotta do is rhyme. All you gotta do is just say two things that rhyme, and I would have been fine, but you don't care about me because you're toxic and you need to grow up.
Fun fact, a supplier once told David Tran, the creator of Sriracha hot sauce, it was too spicy and suggested he add a tomato base to make it sweeter. David replied, hot sauce must be hot. If you don't like it hot, useless. We don't make mayonnaise here. In 1978, David and his family fled Vietnam on a Taiwanese boat named the Hoi Phong. When David arrived in LA, he noticed there were no sriracha sauces available for purchase. So in 1980, he made a batch of his sriracha sauce, switching out the chilies the sauce is traditionally made with for the more readily available jalapenos. He filled recycled baby food jars with his sauce and sold it out of a blue van, making $2,300 his first month. He later introduced a squeeze bottle with the green cap to signify freshness, 4 different languages on the label, and the famous rooster logo because he was born in 1945, the year of the rooster. Since its introduction in LA, Sriracha has built a cult following. Sriracha has no sales team, they don't do any advertisement, and they've had the same 10 distributors since they began their initial production. They rely purely on taste and word of mouth to sell their sauce.
So this is Angus's favorite thing to do. Whenever I muck the stalls, this is his job. Careful. Oh, what a good boy. Keep going. You are such a good boy. Thank you. Okay, let's try. Can you give me the other half, Angus? Can I have that other half for this stall? Can I have it? Thank you. Oh, what a good boy. Thank you. Good job, buddy. I love you. Thank you. Can I have a kiss? Kiss, kiss. Mwah. Thank you. Careful. Careful, buddy. Okay, come in here and finish this spay now. Clean it up. Push it out there. Get it out. You are such a good helper.
I really get my pick of the seats when I'm in the office. I can use this desk for my laptop and this desk for my bag. And these 4 screens, never been used. When I look out onto all these buildings, I think one day I'm gonna own them all. Because of the work I'm doing in person, every day, Monday through Friday, in the office. A lot of water cooler conversations are happening right here. Things like, oh, what did you bring for lunch? Well, I think I'm gonna go out and get a salad. Well, that's because you make more than me. Things like that. We're hashing it out face to face. Conversations that could not be happening over Zoom. In the office, I have access to a printer, which is great if I ever need to go to the DMV or I'm doing estate planning. You're not gonna get this kind of snack variety at home. Here, we have the red Doritos and the blue Doritos. The blue Doritos and the red Doritos. Red is a primary color, blue is a primary color. And check this out, this desk moves up and down. Really worth it for the 90-minute commute each way.
I'm an aircraft mechanic and this is an airplane fact with Max. Today I'm in an aircraft lavatory, and one of the first things that you might notice when going into an aircraft lavatory is going to be this large mirror. But something interesting about aircraft mirrors that make them a little bit different than the Mirror of Galadriel in The Lord of the Rings is that these mirrors probably won't be able to show you what even the wise do not know, because the Mirror of Galadriel was able to show many things, like things that are, things that were, and things that have not yet come to pass. And when Frodo gazed into the Mirror of Galadriel, he saw the scouring of the Shire and the great eye of Sauron gazing back at him until eventually he was able to pull away, where he offered the Ring of Power freely to Galadriel, to which she replied that in place of a Dark Lord, you would would have a queen, both beautiful and terrible as the dawn, treacherous as the sea, stronger than the foundations of the earth, and that all would love her in despair, until eventually she was able to decline Frodo's offer of the ring and bid him to continue his quest. But in these mirrors, you can maybe check your hair or see if you have something in your teeth, and I think that these mirrors are pretty cool. So, yep.
Day in the life of a 1-month-old pup.
So as soon as the pups wake up in the morning, they're eating the face off each other like it's a teenage disco, which tells me they need food. They're on solid food of the week now, which gives Brandy a bit of a break and also develops their own digestive systems. And then it's time for a road. Now there are probably better ways of getting around than being carted around by a kerryman in a bucket, but I've yet to hear of them. This is my chance to get the pups out in fresh air, develop their sensory system, and as you can see here, I even try little bits of games just to develop that herding instinct, and I reward any behaviour such as the creeping here, which would be typical of a border collie. But more than that, it's just time for me to spend time with them, get to know them, and for them to get used to human contact. As you can see here, this little Merle loves being rubbed, which reminds me of Brandy at her age. Speaking of which, she gets hounded as soon as they return, and then they go for a nap. Evening time, same crack, out the gap, looking around, smelling flowers, playing with each other, just getting that bit of air, that bit of confidence. I also like to show them different sights and sounds around the farm, as they're going to have to get used to this for the life ahead of them. And when all is said and done, the pups are wrecked. Pups sleep up to 18 hours a day, so let's leave them at it.
That belongs in a museum in its country of origin. The name's Indiana Jones. Pronouns he, him. I support a woman's right to choose. You know, I used to experiment with my sexuality too, with a non-binary fellow named Elijah. They actually introduced me to Sala. Short Round had a name, damn it. We should have called him that. I don't care if it's hard to pronounce. I think it's time I pass down the mantle of Indiana Jones to my niece, a woman of color. Gun control now! Look, I get it, kid. My dad used to dead name me too. You know, I wasn't always the best about consent. Sorry, I was stimming. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but I'm actually pansexual. Back in 36, I had an on and off thing with an Iraqi guy named Saeed. We were hooking up all through Raiders, but they didn't show it. I brought my metal straw from home. You know, a whip is kind of a racially charged weapon. I have made efforts to distance myself from my problematic son, Mutt Williams. You know, they took away my driver's license. They said I'm a threat to myself. Roe v. Wade! You know, Marx actually had some really solid points. I taught everything I know about socialism to my Argentinian kid sidekick, Che. I wonder where he is now. Kind of phoning this one in. God, I hate Nazis. I said that in the old movies, too. Solving this ancient puzzle should be easy for me, because I have ADHD. Fuck, God damn it!
Alright, I know you're not supposed to learn about like drag history or anything, right? So I'm going to show you a painting, and this is very funny. Alright, I know it's going to be confusing, but this right here, this is drag. You have no idea. So this is actually a scene before the Trojan War, right? So Achilles' mom knows that he's going to die in the war, so she sends him to this island called Skyros, okay? And so she sends him to this island, and he's going to pretend to be a girl. And he's going to hide there for the whole war, and then he won't die in the war. But everybody knows that like Achilles is the best fighter, right? So they're like, all right, we gotta go find him. So these two dudes right here, this is Ulysses and Diomedes. They get sent to Skyros. They're like, listen, we know he's there. We just don't know which one's him. So they show up and they pretend to be merchants, and they bring all this cool shit. They bring a bunch of jewelry, they bring clothes, and all the women are like, oh, look at this fine goods. Look at all the jewelry. You know, and they're like, oh, which one is Achilles? And then Achilles legit over here is like, yo, look at this fucking sword. And then these guys are like, that's definitely a dude. That's definitely Achilles. Look, this sword is the coolest. And then this woman's like, oh my God, all you had to do. These guys are not good at telling who the woman is. We painted you up good. Look at how good Achilles is. Like, that's straight up a woman. And they couldn't tell. And look how happy this dude is about it. No, why would you use this cool sword?
Thank you,
ladies so much for coming. Jeff and I were gonna serve drinks out on the deck today, but it's 167 degrees today, and Jeff got taken by a hurricane.
Well, at least it was a hot hurricane.
Remember that super cute drinks place in Santa Monica? Wait, do you guys remember Santa Monica?
It's underwater.
My kids think Santa Monica is a myth. They're like, the ocean is in Arizona and I need nutrients.
Sarah, have you decided on a name?
We were thinking Braylon or Graylin or Shraylin.
Use one of the names in a sentence.
Braylon, put your gas mask on. The air is methane. I like that.
That sounds very natural.
Let's do presents.
Okay, it's a little early to give it to you, but you'll definitely grow into it.
Oh, a tombstone.
It reads, "Here lies Braylon, died at 28 after a freak hurricane derecho hit her desert town on the 26th day of triple degree weather."
Carol, why would you give me this? What is wrong
Carol,
with
that
this?
is sick.
We didn't decide on the name Braylon yet. That's so rude of you to just assume what the name
And
is.
what's a derecho?
It's one of those freak storm, hurricane, tornado things that
Doesn't
we get
ring a
often.
bell.
No, you know a
them.
derecho.
We have them all the time.
Like the one that wiped out my son's bris?
Yes,
I do remember that.
Don't worry, Sarah. I got you a blank tombstone so you can fill in the name when you're ready. Same cause of death, though. So thoughtful of you.
Ladies, what's Shannon doing? She's just been in that corner shaking and foaming at the mouth. It's a bit rude.
I bet she's suffering from one of those new unnamed mosquito-borne diseases that got released when the ice caps melted.
Shannon,
Oh
honey.
no, Shannon. Shannon, honey.
Good thing you live on a landfill. We can just toss her out the
I
window.
mean, what isn't a landfill?
Two types of drama I will always live for are engineering drama and hyper-localized drama, and in Hillthorpe, Maryland, they have both because Washington Boulevard is being replaced above some CSX rail tracks, and one of the regulations is that all of the crossings above the rail tracks have to meet a clearance of 23 feet or higher. And this original design clearance was 23 feet and 5 inches, which is perfect. Like the trains pass at like 21 feet. It's not actually gonna hit the bridge, but the regulation is 23 feet. But in the design phase, the community was like, hey, you're building this bridge for cars, but like there is a neighborhood there. Can we get a pedestrian path so we can get to our train station and connect some businesses together, you know, make it more livable and walkable? And they were like, I mean, I guess. They designed this 5-foot wide concrete path that was ADA compliant, and they attached it. And what did that do? It caused the clearance of the bridge to drop to 22 feet, 10 3/4 inches. So now the bridge is sitting 1 1/4 inch too short to legally be opened. So now it looks pretty much complete, but the residents noticed that all of the construction crews had left the construction site, and they were like, why is nothing happening for months? And finally, the Maryland Department of Transportation was like, we can't open the bridge. Like, we can't, we have to figure out something to do. Hopefully they figure it out, but they have not admitted who is actually at fault for this design choice. And I think this really just speaks to what happens when you don't consider all the stakeholders in your engineering projects. So go back to your senior design projects and remember what you learned, kids.
These are the rules for Rat Girl Summer. Number 1, you have to go outside. Let me say that again. You have to go outside. You cannot scurry in bed. You cannot scurry on your couch. You need to leave your home. You have 2 days a week allotted for decaying. Do all your scrolling, do all your binge watching, do all your rotting in bed on those 2 days. If I find out that you're rotting in bed for more than 2 days a week, I will be forced to pull up and beat your ass. Actions have consequences. Number 2, nibbling on our little snacks. That means that we're eating and enjoying eating. Starving yourself to be skinny for summer is out. Eating nourishing meals so you can make mischief and cause mayhem is in. That means we're eating pasta salad and potato salad at picnics and barbecues. We're having sandwiches at the beach. We're eating ice cream after dinner. We're eating and having fun eating. Number 3, we're killing the cringe. The part of you that feels embarrassed when you want to do certain things, kill it immediately and bury the body. That's over. Whatever your drive, your whimsy tells you that you want to do, follow that urge. And number 4, no overthinking. You think a rat thinks twice before stealing a slice of pizza and scurrying across a subway platform? No, we're going with our gut, we're going with our intuition. No overthinking. When you move with your gut, you usually make the right decision anyway, and if you don't, it makes for a better story. And with that, go forth and scurry with my blessing.
I
I get a lot of comments like this dumb one up here, and normally I would just ignore them because it's a dumb comment, it's tired, it's old, but today I'm gonna learn you something. Not only is there tons of historical evidence through art showing Black people wearing aristocratic fashion, but there's also tons of evidence showing them as equals to their white counterparts. Now let's talk about a specific painting. This painting right here is called Young Woman with a Servant. It's painted by Stephen Slaughter in the late 17th or 18th century. This painting right here has caused an uproar in the art history community. For one, you hear the title, Young Woman with a Servant, you think this is the young woman, this is the servant. But it's not the case. Many art historians argue that this is the young woman and this is the servant. For one, that's not a young woman. 2, this woman that's standing has all the jewels. Many jewels around her neck, many jewels around her ears. The frog buttons on her bodice suggest that this is a riding outfit. Servants didn't go riding, that's a rich person thing. Woman sitting down, less jewelry, nothing on her neck. And here's the big thing. She's looking off into the distance while the standing woman is looking straight at the artist. Usually the person looking off into the distance is of less importance because it's less personable. They're not looking you right in the eye. Another thing, while the woman standing is picking fruit, the woman sitting down is the one holding it, holding the bag, carrying it all, carrying the load. If you do want to see more evidence of Black people not being servants and slaves in art history, please go check out Black aristocratic art. I hope I said that word right because I always said it wrong in school. So now, to be historically accurate, I do not need to be wearing slave clothes. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Bye-bye.
I feel like COVID really stunted a lot of people's understanding of dance music. Like, especially rap, hip-hop, R&B, pop genre of dance music. And this might also be cultural differences, because primarily the people I see making these takes are white. But here's something me and my friends coined back in middle school, and it's called ass songs. These are songs not made for your brain or for your heart. They're made for your ass. They are straight made to dance to. They have no higher meaning above getting your ass moving. Artists that excel in this field are Pitbull, Lil Jon, the Yin Yang Twins. Most of their discography is straight up ass songs. I mean, Pitbull's lyrics, if you look at them, 9 times out of 10 are completely nonsensical. Mommy Got an Ass Like a Donkey with a Monkey, Look Like King Kong is an actual chart-topping lyric from Pitbull. But I bet you don't recognize that because you're shaking your ass to it. And this isn't a situation you see with a lot of white artists where they're like, oh my god, did I make the bop of the summer? And they think what they made is like revolutionary and amazing. No, those that put their professional backing behind ass-shaking songs know absolutely what they're doing. Because you're listening to this music at a dance, or at a club, or when you drunk as fuck at home, and you just need something to wiggle to get all the energy out. Or if you're like me and you want to do a club scene in one of your maladaptive daydreamings and you need some background noise to the drama. And the main reason I'm talking about this is because I see these people confused as to why they like this song, even though they know this is a bad song. These are bad lyrics. Why do I want to listen to it? It's because your ass needs music too. Do not allow the superficial sophistication of society to stop you from wiggling your butt cheeks. When I was a youngin', the ass song of the time was Bedrock. This is a song that had Nicki Minaj, Bruno Mars. It was a Young Money extravaganza. It was hot ass garbage. But you can bet, every single time that song came on, Lil Me was kicking off her wedges, shotgunning a Sprite, and getting my ass back on that neon lit dance floor.
So a former Georgia candidate and current GOP official, Candace Taylor, is upset that a parody video was made of her. So she recorded a video basically confirming everything that Blair said in her parody was spot on. Let's first watch the parody video Candace is referencing.
I'm not a scientist because that is a made-up job, but I know that the earth is flat, okay? Because if the earth was round, why would maps be flat? They can never answer that, okay? And people want to be like, well, oh, if the earth is flat, then what about night and day? I don't know, let me think about it. Maybe because the earth is double-sided and God flips us over when it's time for us to go to bed and flips us back over when it's time for us to wake up, like I do with my husband. Like, use your brain. Use your head for a minute. If the earth was round like a globe, everything would be falling off of it. All the oceans would be dripping down it like ice cream, okay? Unless the earth is a DQ blizzard where nothing falls out. But even then, sometimes things do fall out and they do have to give you your money back.
And now for Candace's response.
If the earth is a globe, which we've always believed the earth is a globe, and we believe that, why do we see globes on all the TV shows, on all the movies, and all the stores? Why are there globes everywhere? Why? Because it's propaganda. It's propaganda for us to be okay with NASA spending billions of dollars of our taxpayer money to fund whatever they want to fund. That does not mean that I'm crazy. That does not mean that I'm unethical. That does not mean that anything that a radical, liberal, psychotic girl in Atlanta who did a parody on me said. Because she did a parody and she said, oh, we can flip the earth upside down and have day and night. I would never have thought to say something so dumb. That is completely idiotic. She said that. Her, not me. And people that say, oh, this is you. No. Look at my lips. She had on red lipstick, but she does not have a full front top lip. And I told her that. The red was a nice touch, but you don't have the lips for it. She looks nothing like me, praise the Lord. And she writes skits for Saturday Night Live. She has a fake Southern accent. She's an Atlantean. She doesn't sound like me from South Georgia. And she's trying to. But it's not me, people. It's her. It's Blair. Her name's Blair. I don't even know her last name.
So what I'm hearing is that Candace is not a flat earther, but she thinks globes are a conspiracy. Got it.
Gen Z doesn't know how to write a check. They don't know how to address an envelope.
We've all seen this woman floating around by now, but in case you haven't, she's cracking a joke that says that if Gen Z were to take over the world, it'd be really easy to get it back because they can't address an envelope or write in cursive. I used to work customer support for a cloud-based tax preparation software for tax preparers. One day, a boomer tax preparer calls in aggravated because he can't access the software. I asked if he was able to log into the website. He says no. I asked why. He says, I don't remember my username or password. I said, there's a button in the top right-hand corner to request a username and password recovery. He says, I don't see that. He says, it's right next to where you would put in your username and password. He says, I don't see that. I asked, do you see our website? He says, no. I asked, what do you see? He says, a picture of my 2 grandchildren. I asked, are you looking at your desktop, sir? He says, what's a desktop? I said, okay, I'm going to need you to access a web browser so we can get you to the website. He says, what's a browser? I said, it's the internet, sir. Do you click on a blue E or a blue compass to get to the internet? He says, I see a blue E. We're getting somewhere. 10 minutes later, I am able to help him get to our website and help him click on the forgot username and password buttons. There is a notification that says a recovery email has been sent to your email. He says, now what do I do? I said, you have to open up the email. He says, I can't open up my email. I asked why. He says, because my email is on my phone and I am talking to you on my phone, you fucking moron. Let's just ignore the fact that this man had the unmitigated gall to call me a fucking moron and he didn't know what a web browser was and what it was used for. But this man is entrusted to do people's taxes. I asked if he could put me on speaker so then we could open up his email from his phone. He refused. I asked him to access his email from the browser that he is currently staring at. He says, how do I do that? I asked, what's your email, sir? He said, at gmail.com. I said, you need to go to gmail.com. He goes to gmail.com. He asked, what does he do now? I said, put in your username and password, sir. He says, I don't know that. I spent an hour of my time helping this man recover his Gmail account so then he can go into his Gmail and recover his tax preparation software account. And in the end, he said, your tax software is not very user-friendly.
You want to know what the end game of Republicans is? Then we need to talk about the Convention of States. For the last few months, I have been covering all of the secretive Christian nationalist organizations behind every piece of hateful legislation for the last 40 years. In my Know Your Enemy series, we've covered the Alliance Defending Freedom, the Heritage Foundation, the American Legislative Exchange Council, also known as ALEC, and the Big Bad Wolf, the Council for National Policy. And when these groups combine, their goal is the Convention of States. And you may have already heard about the Convention of States. I've been tagged in this video a lot today.
Republicans across the country are trying to gain control of as many states as they can. They're passing outlandish laws to scare people, to frighten them, to get them out of their states so they can gain total control of their states. And the reason why they're doing this is so they can call a convention of states and change our Constitution.
Change the Constitution. That's the purpose of a convention of states. If legislators from 34 states or 2/3 of the legislature agree to change the Constitution, it can be changed. It's a little thing called Article 5, and there are no rules on Article 5 on who can present what the amendment should be. It can be corporations. It could be ALEC or any of the other shady right-wing Christian nationalist organizations. And there's no limit on how many amendments they could make if they call the Convention of States. They could suppress your voting rights. They could suppress your freedom of religion or freedom from religion. They could ban abortion nationally. They could ban birth control. They could even ban gender-affirming care nationally. They could completely eliminate your right to privacy. Anything and everything is up for grabs. And they can surpass Congress to do it. Iowa State Republican Representative John Willis says it's really the last line of defense we have. Right now, the federal government's run away. They're not going to pull their own power back. They're not going to restrict themselves. And so this Article 5 convention is, in my opinion, the last option we have. Here's a map of states that have already passed the Convention of States resolution to amend the Constitution. And here's Aaron Reed's map of safe and unsafe states for trans people, the ones that have passed the harshest anti-trans laws. Pretty damn similar. One thing we know about the Republicans is that they love to cheat. They're terrified of young voters. They know that they don't stand a chance. And David Frum, former spokesperson for George W. Bush, famously said that if conservatives become convinced that they cannot win democratically, they will not abandon conservatism, they will reject democracy. That's the end goal, and that's why you need to know your enemy.
I don't like to say I told you so, but I told you so. Less than 5 days ago, I posted a rant. And in the middle of the rant, I said this. We gotta be out here defending Target. What's next? I gotta defend fucking Chick-fil-A? And here we are today, with all these headlines. Not even Chick-fil-A is safe from anti-woke right-wingers. Chick-fil-A's DEI leader sparks calls for a boycott. Chick-fil-A hires a VP of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion. Twitter says Chick-fil-A's going whoa. And this is one of the main guys right here. Joey here wants to be a political influencer. He wants to make money. He's a grifter in training. He bought the blue check mark and everything. So Joey is going after Chick-fil-A because he wants to convince everyone that there's a secret cabal of people out here trying to ruin your children. And how are they doing it? They're doing it through the chicken, everyone. It's the chicken. Because this is what happens when you try to use hatred as a way to sell a product. All of these companies eventually are going to fall this same way because someone out there is going to hate more, so much more than Chick-fil-A. Someone's going to hate more than the Black Rifle Company, coffee company. You guys know the ones. Kyle Rittenhouse's favorite coffee. Someone's going to hate more than the NRA. It's only a matter of time before the NRA is called woke after this. There is no stopping the wokeness, which is why we've ended up in this following situation. You are the chosen chicken. It was said that you would destroy the wokeness, not join them. Bring balance to the lunches. not leave it in darkness. My pleasure. You were my fast food restaurant, Chick-fil-A. I loved you. But in reality, the reason this is happening is because the right doesn't have an actual platform. They have no plan to fix anything. They just want to stand in the way and say that everything's terrible because there's secret things happening when everything is happening in public constantly. The reason Chick-fil-A has a DEI VP now is because that they don't want to get sued for racism, you fucking idiots. The reason why you have companies supporting Pride is because gay people spend money on stuff too. So that's what this all comes down to. What you're angry at is companies trying to make money off as broad of a market share as possible. So you're going to constantly see conservatives, like most cults, slowly try to get their followers to cut themselves off from the greater world. You will see more and more different companies that are for conservatives only pushing this type of agenda. And it's going to keep happening. No company is going to be conservative enough for any of these people because Chick-fil-A was the fucking goalpost for conservatives. And now here we are, watching them get their legs swiped out from underneath them, and some random people screaming that they are now putting hormones in milkshakes to turn kids trans. Yes, that is where we got to in under 24 hours. So congratulations, everyone. Thank you specifically to Bud Light for giving in to bigots. You have made the stock market fucking go insane now. Great job! No, but it's all Ronald Reagan's fault. Just like it's all Ronald Reagan's fault though. So don't fuck it up.